All right, guys. Welcome. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Ibrahim Fauna Talk Show. Of course, I'm Ibrahim, and today's December 24th, 2025. One day to Christmas. So, but I promised you all that I was going to do this live. To my Sierra Leonean, viewers. If you are any part from Africa, you're watching this, welcome. I'm from Sierra Leone, so I mostly talk about issues surrounding Sierra Leone. So sometimes I'm going to capture or talk about other issues affecting Africa. Like I'm proud of the Kenyan youth. I'm proud of the Tanzanians. I'm proud of what you guys are doing to stand up to defend democracy. So I'm proud of all your efforts, and I see it. But there is so much more issues in Sierra Leone that needs to be talked about. That I have a responsibility to come out here and educate and sensitize the young people of Sierra Leone. So what you're seeing on my screen, the photo you're seeing here is the British High Commissioner to Sierra Leone currently, Miss Josephine Goud. That's him with brother Lamrana on Truth Media, and I wanted to, talk about this. I put this compilation together um, whilst I was watching this interview because that is what is important to me. The role of the international community in Africa, it has to be defined, right? They support through aid and this and that and all of that, and then when it comes to actually protecting democracy, they tell us that sovereignty. So they have a line that cannot be crossed. So I'm going to let you guys watch this video for my Sierra Leonean brothers and sisters. Even though I'm speaking English, I'm going slowly today because I want you guys to understand what I'm saying. The international community is not going to come save you. Again, I'm going to try to be slow with today. The international community is not going to save you. You, the people of Sierra Leone, have a responsibility to stand up to defend your democracy. Whatever it takes, stand up to defend your democracy. I'm going to let you listen to this exchange between Lamrana and, of Truth Media in Sierra Leone and Miss Josephine Goud, the current High Commissioner to, of the United Kingdom to Sierra Leone. I want you to listen to it so you can see what we've been saying all of this while. Like I said, I put this compilation together and I want you guys to see this. So listen to this. Listen to this.
The UK government, has been here and they've been supporting us, but when it comes to the past elections, they've not been very determined to let our politicians understand that elections should be free and fair. Until after the elections, they invest in tripartite and agreement for unity. And someone was talking about how do we have people like the British High Commission and raising concerns about governance issues before the elections and not wait until after elections, ringing the bell, ringing it, raising the alarm and the red flags before the election so we could resolve them and not go into, not election specifically, but governance issues that might, that have the tendency to affect elections. Someone was saying, let me read that message. It was a long message, but let me see if I can pull it up. It says, the UK stood by while Sierra Leone elections have been rigged or dictated by foreign power for decades without doing nothing. Matter of fact, the 2023 elections is the worst ever seen in the world, stolen by this present government with impunity. And I think international partners should raise the alarm before the elections rather than just wait after elections.
I mean, there's something about the whole sort of nature of what diplomatic relations are and how we work. So we will work with all different, obviously we have a kind of government-to-government relationship, but then we have a kind of wider interest in being able to understand and know about the dynamics of what's happening in the country, and so we'll talk to everybody. But there is a line where, Sierra Leone is a sovereign country, so we need to be careful and respect that. And a lot of conversations that we have, as we said before, will be private conversations we'll be having, and we're not in the business, I think, of going out on on our sort of soapbox and talking about things too publicly. So I think there's a balance to be struck, but I think our effort is what we can do to support and encourage the tripartite process to really actually make a shift and to enable, if those recommendations are discussed and then implemented and adopted and then applied, that should provide a good basis for the next time round, and that each election actually should be more transparent, more fair, more free, more credible. I think that's the basis for making sure that people believe in democracy. And
One final question I'll take.
You know,
Unless you
guys,
have a story,
first of all, let me give kudos where it's due. So when I saw this, you would not be able to find this, what you just watched. You would not be able to find it in the interview itself, because I had to patiently wait to record where, this was during the question time when Lamrana was reading the questions that were coming in. So when the person asked this question, I had to record that part and then wait for the answer. So I had to wait and wait and wait to get that answer until the High Commissioner came back to that question, because Lamrana did a phenomenal job. I want to thank Lamrana for this. He did a wonderful job of trying to get this High Commission to talk. He really did a good job of putting her on the limelight so she has an opportunity to explain to Sierra Leoneans. And if not for the persistence of Lamrana, we would not have even gotten to this part where the High Commissioner said what she said, which is why it's important, and I wanted to point out to you so you can see what it is. But Lamrana did a phenomenal job, and thanks to Lamrana. You see, because with the international community, I don't want to say they're hypocritical, but it's their position. You can define it as being very, very hypocritical, but it is their position to say that there is a line that we're not going to cross. You've listened to the video yourself. Sierra Leone is a sovereign state. But again, we know the SLPP sovereignty only applies to the rigging of elections. But everything else, sovereignty is out the window. They don't really care. When it comes to the rigging of elections, they don't want nobody to tell us this, tell us that. And so I say to you again, it's been 2 years, 5 months. We're about to finish 2025. We're going into 2026. Dr. Samora Kamara, who has said he's going to defend our democracy, defend our votes, against the fact that we all know the APC party executive has already sold out. They've gone. They said it's done and dusted. We have nothing to deal with those people right now at this point. Yes, they're going to pay at some point. But if Dr. Samora Kamara, who's leading the fight for electoral justice, to say that he wants his presidency, because I want to let you understand, Salon people, he say he wants him presidency. If you want him presidency, the international community has made it very clear. This lady has made it very, very clear what is the position and the line of the international community. Are they going to pressure Marabi in the background? Yes. Are they going to do anything other than that? Talk about it, have meetings? The lady don't tell her now. Everything, not all things they can't talk publicly. Would I get a responsibility if you really care about him presidency? Dr. Samora Kamara, come out, take interviews internationally, call out the international partners, call them out to tell them that, hey, what are you talking about sovereignty? You guys are supporting us through your initiatives, aids, and all kinds of programs. You say you believe in democracy. You guys are practicing proper democracy. Why are you going to allow Sierra Leone's democracy die and decay the way it is going today? He is the winner of that elections. He is the president of that nation. He should be the one at State House right now. He has the responsibility to stand up and defend that democracy, defend his position. Not only because he is who won the elections, but for the reputation of Sierra Leone itself. Everybody else, we know the people that have sold out. We understand what they've done. We know who the criminals are. We know who sold out. They've gone, done and dusted. We know the people. So why are we going to waste our time with those? Those people would pay at some point, definitely, because what they've done is treason. When you go against the will of the people in a democracy, it's treasonous. When the people voted and you steal the elections and you tell them it's done and dusted, it's treasonous. It is in the Constitution and they should pay for treason. That is a fact. So Dr. Samora Kamara, at this point, we've listened to the British High Commissioner. She has made it very clear. There is a line that they're not going to cross. And this is what I want to share with you all. So Salon people, you better understand this fact. Yes, nobody wants anybody to die. But at the end of the day, nobody should die because of a democracy. Nobody should die during elections. We are civilized human beings. We're not animals. We're not living in the jungle. We're not living in that retributive justice society where if the lion is the lion, the deers are dead. No, we are human beings. We're supposed to act decently. Dr. Samora Kamara won that elections. He has a responsibility not to give up. Yes, you've done everything you could. Take interviews, aggravate the situation, call on the international partners, call them out and tell them that the whole argument about sovereignty does not apply. It's not going to hold. The High Commission has told you, the British High Commission has made it very clear. What else do you need? You think just being on social media, screaming and hollering and talking all kinds of, you see one or two of them come because, oh, European Union partners came to Sierra Leone, they're in State House. They're going to, no. These guys are not going to push. They're going to remove Marabio for us. It is us as a people that have a responsibility, just like Marabio said back in 2017, 2018, that he's ready to bring his people out to protest. It was not a crime when Marabio said that. Marabio threatened protest. He did. I'm not making stuff up for you all. It is the reality. Marabio said that. So it is the responsibility of Dr. Samura Kamara as well to defend democracy. If Marabio thinks he can threaten to say, I'm going to call my people out, and this was not even rigging elections. This was just when, I think Anes Kroma said something about, that he's going to, they want to postpone the elections. It was something along that line. They had that conversation about postponing the elections. Marabio said, no, he's ready to bring his people out to protest. Yes, it's not a crime. It's the fact. It's the reality. So for you people, my brothers and sisters in Sierra Leone, that are saying, that leave Samura Kamara alone. Don't talk about Samura Kamara. No. You are making how long are we going to be on this? Yes, this is a fight for the hand. This is a fight for the long haul, because this is about Sierra Leone's reputation being on the limelight, being on the line. But if Marabio could threaten that he's really ready and willing to fight for his, for the fact that in elections, who is Dr. Samura Kamara not to do the same? Listen to this when Marabio was saying what he wanted to say. Listen to this.
Some tension in the country. In Bo, for example, there were clashes between activists from the governing party, but also from your party. How are you trying, in your capacity, to calm the situation down, to make sure this will not escalate?
We have continued to appeal to our people to be law-abiding and not to play into the hands of the All People's Congress that has decided to make sure that this election does not hold. I'm very sure from the highest office, the chairman and leader of the APC, to the last person, they are determined that this election should not hold. Today is our day to campaign in Freetown. They took vehicles and we are parading the streets, basically provoking a direct confrontation from our people. But we have appealed to our people, our supporters, who were supposed to be on the streets of Freetown, not to fall for that. Also, I have noticed a large deployment of armed police and military men right on the streets leading to my house. They have pepper sprayed a few people who were going to me and have threatened some of my advisors with gun. I do not take lightly to this, and I want to use this opportunity also to tell the government and the police chief to withdraw those who are there. We are not going to play into their hands. We have fought for this peace. They were not part of the process. They were the ones that brought the war that led us to 11-year civil war. We are not going down that road. We want to appeal to them to protect this country, the police and also the military, to defend the people of this country and not to harass them or intimidate them.
Thank you.
There's been some tension in the country in both.
Thank you. So this is the responsibility. This is the responsibility of a leader. This is how you talk. You talk tough. Marabio did. It was not a crime. And this interview has a second part. Let me play the second part because I want you guys to hear this. The international community is not going to come save you. Salon people in the international community know they can't save Una. Una, listen to this.
This is Marabio. For the country, if that will happen, if the elections will be really postponed.
Very dire consequences, as you know. We are all set. We've been preparing for this for the past 5 years, and everything is set. We have international observers here. Quite a lot of money has been spent for this particular occasion, and we see no reason why it should be postponed. The only reason that is there is because the president wants to postpone. But we have the Constitution, and there is no reason why it should not be held on the 27th. I will not hesitate to call the people of this country to come out and defend peace, security, and the democracy we have fought for. I didn't fight for democracy alone. This whole nation fought for it. And I think we should rise up to make sure that democracy is maintained.
And let me tell you guys, until Dr. Samura Kamara rise up to the occasion, nothing is going to happen. Marabio did not commit a crime. What he was saying there was correct. And this is what I want to point out to you guys. What Marabio was saying was absolutely 100% correct. That was the reality. Dr. Samura Kamara, it is very obvious and very clear now. You've listened to the international community. I've played the video of the British High Commissioner. There is a line that cannot be crossed. It is a sacrosanct fact. There is a line that cannot be crossed. So if Sierra Leoneans think that the international community is going to come and fight for them and remove Marabio out of office, it is a lie. It is a lie. We've seen it now very clearly. It's obviously very clear that the international community is not going to come and save Sierra Leone. You've listened to this lady yourself. It's out of the horse's mouth. I didn't make it up. She said what she said. She said what she said. So, because I really wanted to show you that section so you guys can see exactly what it is, because this is what the reality is. Nobody's going to come to save us. Nobody's going to come to save you. This is the reality. And I'm going to play this video again one more time. I'm going to play this again one more time. Because I want you guys to listen to this. And I want you guys to understand where we're coming from. I'm going to play this one more time, what the British High Commissioner said in an interview with Lamran Abba of Truth Media. Listen to this.
Free and fair until after the elections, the standards. Elections should be free and fair until after the election. So let our politicians understand that elections should be free and fair until after the elections, they invest in tripartite and agreement for unity. And someone was talking about,
I want you to listen to this.
Do we have people like the British High Commission and raising concerns about governance issues before the elections and not wait until
Sheko, that's the 2017 video of Marabio.
Ringing the bell, ringing it, raising the alarm and the red flags before the election so we could resolve them and not go into, not election specifically, but governance issues that might, that have the tendency to affect elections. Someone was saying, let me read that message. It was a long message, but let me see if I can pull it up. It says, the UK stood by while Sierra Leone elections have been rigged or dictated by foreign power for decades without doing nothing. Matter of fact, the 2023 elections is the worst ever seen in the world, stolen by this present government with impunity. And I think international partners should raise the alarm before the elections rather than just wait after elections.
Thank you.
I mean, there's something about the whole sort of nature of what diplomatic relations are and how we work. So we will work with all different, obviously we have a kind of government-to-government relationship, but then we have a kind of wider interest in being able to understand and know about the dynamics of what's happening in the country, and so we'll talk to everybody. But there is a line where, Sierra Leone is a sovereign country.
Thank you. There is a line where Sierra Leone is a sovereign country. So they're not going to cross that line. Electoral justice fighters, wake up. If Dr. Samura Kamara is standing with us, fine. We appreciate him because he's the only man standing. Everybody else is gone. They all have their ambitions for 2028. The only other person that is standing with us is Alfred Peter Conte, standing, asking for the elections results. Samura Kamara was the candidate for the June 24th, 2023 elections. He won the elections. It is sacrosanctly clear. He provided the RRF, the result reconciliation forms. It is absolutely and sacrosanctly clear. He had 57.15% of the votes. He won that election. Yes, he said he doesn't want nobody to die for him. Now he make, they stand up, they call people in for protest. Fine. He has given speeches. We're with him. This is about Sierra Leone. This is about all of us collectively. He's the leader in charge. He's standing in front of us. We are looking up to him. The people in the ABOP and Dr. Samura Kamara. But the international community has a line that it will not cross because Sierra Leone is a sovereign country. Nobody know to go pull Marabio. We the people get the responsibility. If Marabio is to be kicked out of power, something has to happen. It is not going to be done quietly. It has to be done with some form of resistance. And what is that resistance? Samura Kamara, the leader and the winner of the June 24th, 2023 elections, even though he does not have the support of his political party, it can take interviews internationally. Let's say he does not want to call the people out for protest. Fine, because he wants to save lives, because he believes Marabio is going to brutally murder the people of Sierra Leone. And he believes that protest is going to be crushed in a day and people are going to lose their lives and nothing is going to come out of that. Let's say that's what Dr. Samura Kamara believes. Let's all believe that. Yes, but the fact of the matter remains, Dr. Samura Kamara, if he really believes, and like he said when he's tired, he's going to come and let us know. We don't have to wait until he's tired. Let us keep egging him on. Let it push up, let it push up, let it push up. Take interviews internationally. You know they create confusion by taking interviews internationally. You've all seen Julius Marabio. Marabio back in 2017 to 2018. That's the video that they put out there. It says he's not going to hesitate to defend the democracy because we've all fought for the democracy. You all know the role that Marabio then play na the rebel world like today. The Ali Kabaz. Marabio's sister was with Fode Sanko. Miss Agnes Bio. She was with Fode Sanko. Then Gyal Pikinde like today. Look what I did with back, the drug lord. So this is a cursed family. But look at Marabio like today. He was there, 2017. He said, I'm not going to, hesitate to bring my people out to protect this democracy because we've come a long way. Dr. Sumak might get a responsibility as well to not give up on his presidency. It's been 2 years, 5 months. What the heck? If Marabio can defend in democracy and make them remarks and it was not a crime. It's the same thing now as you asking for the results of the June 24th, 2023 elections. It is not a crime. It is not a crime for you to ask say Marabio for step down because he lost the elections. It is not a crime. It is your civic responsibility enshrined within the constitution of the land. We have a responsibility for protecting the reputation of the country. Section 13 of the constitution makes it very clear about the responsibilities of a citizen. We all get a responsibility for protect the good name of the country. And where we get country, where the elections results are not announced, the elections results are negotiated, it becomes a big problem.
So
it becomes a serious problem. So the international community has made it very clear. This woman has made it very clear there is a line. Continue to listen to this.
So we need to be careful and respect that. And a lot of conversations that we have, as we said before, will be private conversations.
A lot of conversations is going to be private. That means you, the people, are not even privileged to what's going on behind the scene in your democracy. And that is the failure of democracy in itself. Because democracy is supposed to be a transparent process so everybody can see. You see, I'm mixing Creole and English today because I really want to appeal to my brothers and sisters to let you guys understand that calling on the international community is not going to solve your problems. They are not. They would listen to you. They would go behind the scene. They will talk about it, but they cannot do anything further to get the solutions or the answers that you're looking for. They will not remove Marabio. They're coming, they would have meetings, they would this, they would that. It is you, the people, you have to do something for them to see reason to stand by you, the people. We even saw what happened in Tanzania. Even though they killed thousands of people protesting against the terrible leadership that happened today in Tanzania. But we've seen what has happened. The lady is still in power. The international community is not going to come and save you. That is why if you start a protest in Africa, if your protest is to remove a leader, make sure that you achieve that objective without waiting to say the international community is going to come and do the finishing work and remove this leader. No, you begin it and finish it. When you begin if you begin protest, say when they begin this protest, every Sierra Leonean has to have that mindset to know that if we're going to be part of this protest, we're not going to go back home. We're not going to finish this protest until we achieve the objective of getting rid of all the infidels in the society. All the bad people should be cleaned up before anybody go back home. That is the determination that you should have because that is where the world has gone. The international community is not going to come save you. They have their own issues in their various countries now. They're not going to leave that and come, except if they really have, a reason to, their interest is at stake. Like what you see is happening in Venezuela, the oil. Except when the international partners, their interest is at stake. And right now, Marabio is playing into their hands. Marabio is a puppet for the Western powers. So nothing is going to change. Marabio is playing with them. So if you're going to come out to protest, to remove Marabio, to stand up and rightfully do so to defend your democracy, because again, our elections should not be negotiated. Our elections should not be negotiated. This is, something that our brother Alfred Peter Conte said a couple of, weeks ago. And I can remind you guys, let me remind you guys about what Alfred Peter Conte said. We cannot negotiate our elections. Let's listen to this. Listen to this. Conte said in a video that I was watching earlier today. It mentioned, the fact that, elections should not be about negotiations, and I'll share that with you because I want you guys to hear that. All right, I'm going to share that with you guys. Let me put it on the screen here because it's very important for us to, show things like these. We cannot have elections where the votes of the people should count. However, what is happening is the votes of the people don't count.
You go get verdict
it is
in one court.
Only the
person or they appeal. But he can
listen to this.
He say, "Then we don't do them." You go get verdict in one court. The person or they appeal because you can appeal after verdict. After verdict, you get, I think, 3 weeks for appeal. You get time for appeal. So if you don't appeal, you verdict. Then you go to another judge of equal competence. You understand? And the other judge, they go reverse waiting the other incumbent do. You know they happen no sign at the wall, na salon no more. Like Bakutin, they know they happen no sign at the wall, na only salon.
So who should man the affairs of the APC party now? Is it the National Executive or the Interim Committee?
Listen to this.
The Interim Committee. Now we have a de facto executive. Okay, this de facto, then they're all over the place. They're able to secure the votes of the people. They're able win election. They win election and say they don't left them. In fact, the actions the way they take, it contravene the Sierra Leone constitution. In this country, okay, power, not to by negotiation, not by vote.
Right there.
You remember where it contravene the Sierra Leone constitution.
Listen to this.
In this country, okay, power, not to by negotiation, not by vote.
Thank you.
You remember?
Thank you. That is what I want to share with you guys. This was what Alfred Peter Conte said, and it's a fact. We cannot negotiate power. This is what happened in Sierra Leone with the tripartite. Yes, we were trying to forge peace because we did not want no war in our country. But power should not be negotiated. Elections should not be negotiated. The results of the election should be what determines who becomes the leader of that nation. And in fact, Salon people, we know that the APC executive don't sell. Dr. Samara Kumar deal with is he serious about his presidency? Well, I'm telling you guys now, because the international partners that you guys believe in, they've made it very clear there is a line that they're not going to cross. This lady has made it very, very clear. There is a line that they are not going to cross. Sierra Leone is a sovereign state. It is the reality. So listen for yourself. Sierra Leone is a sovereign state.
Of nature of what diplomatic relations are and how we work. So we will work with all different, obviously we have a kind of government-to-government relationship, but then we have a kind of wider interest in being able to understand and know about the dynamics of what's happening in the country, and so we'll talk to everybody. But there is a line where, Sierra Leone is a sovereign country, so we need to be careful and respect that. And a lot of conversations that we have, as we said before, will be private conversations we'll be having, and we're not in the business, I think, of going out on a sort of soapbox and talking about things too publicly. So I think there's a balance to be struck. But I think our effort is what we can do to support and encourage the tripartite process to really actually make a shift and to enable, if those recommendations are discussed.
This is the reality. This is sad. Sierra Leoneans, the international community is not going to come and save you guys. They can't save you. They will continue to play their role. As you've seen, we have the mercy of Julius Matabio and his thugs. And I guarantee you again, they're going to go into another elections in 2028. And these international partners are going to support that elections. However, that elections is not guaranteed because, again, Julius Marabio and his thugs would rig the elections and nothing is going to come out of it because the international community gets a line that cannot be crossed. Sierra Leone is a sovereign state. It is made clear. So the earlier the better. Every one of us understand that the international community is not there to help us. They are just partners. They have their interests. They get what they are getting. When they come there, all these organizations or all these companies that are mining in our various industries, and this is how they build connections through these commissions, through these embassies and stuff like that. They have their interest, and it's only their interest. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about you individually. Yes, funding comes, aid comes, but when it comes to upholding democracy for what it should be, when Julius Maada rigged that elections, if the international community were serious people, they would remove him. They would demand his removal. But from ECOWAS, African Union, the European Union, now these commissioners and ambassadors, you can see how she's playing her own role. She's a diplomat. She's controlled by the UK government. So she cannot say whatever she wants to say, but she's telling us that there is a line that cannot be crossed because Sierra Leone is a sovereign state. So if you want to sit down at the wait, say that they can rescue her, it's not going to happen. Marabio is going to stay there. They're going to rig more elections in the future. You guys are at the mercy because, again, on our opposition leaders, they don't sell their soul. The APC would not win another elections in Sierra Leone because Julius Marabio has a lot to protect. It is either they sign some serious deal to say you're going to protect us to the best, and or to God in this day, APC would not be able to win another elections in Sierra Leone under no circumstances because Julius Marabio has seen the playbook. So even if he does not want to be a dictator, even if Julius Marabio doesn't want to stay in power, whoever is going to say be the next leader of the SLPP, they already have the infrastructure in place to rig the elections. Nothing is going to change. The international community know they come for can save una. Then they can fight for una. We are on our own. And I say again, you the people, if you're suffering, just like Ali Kaba went to the bush and started the rebel war in Sierra Leone, what you do? It was fighting for, you say there's oppression, suppression, depression, a one-party state system, everything that Ali Kaba went to the Mataba in Libya with Charles Taylor to do is what is coming to pass. Charles Taylor made it very clear about Ali Kaba's role to start the rebellion in Sierra Leone. So I don't know what else needs to be said. But Charles Taylor made it very clear on Ali Kaba's role that he played in the rebel war. So tell me. And when we say these things, people think that we are making stuff up. Unless another rebellion, powerful rebellion from the people, now I'm going to restore democracy back to that country. But as it is, democracy is dead in Sierra Leone. Listen to Charles Taylor talking about Ali Kaba's role in the rebel war. I'm not making stuff up. When I listen to Charles Taylor.
Were in that first group because you were not concerned and you were not permitted to associate with other groups. The only thing you knew that groups were there because you met their leaders almost on a daily basis, not in the camp, but in Tripoli.
Is in Tripoli, based in the same guest house.
Some were in the guest house. Some were in hotels. Ali Kaba, Kukuya Samba Sanye, myself, most of the West Africans that did not really stay there a whole lot used the Mataba guest house. There was an apartment in Tripoli that I used. Okay, but most of them, and I came to Mataba every day, and as is normal, and I'm sure the judges will understand it. You're from West Africa, of course you want to hang with West Africans. So at the Mataba, most times, Dr. Manny, Ali Kaba, myself will be together, conversing all of the time when I was there.
So what about Fode Sanko?
Fode Sankoh was, I tell you, what I heard of Fode Sankoh for the first time on the BBC. Fode Sankoh was nothing. He was not at the Mataba. Fode Sankoh was apparently one of Ali Kaba's men that were in the camp. Fode Sankoh knew my men. I did not know Fode Sankoh, just as Ali Kaba did not know my men. No, Fode Sankoh was nowhere with the type of credentials to be a member of the Mataba. Because if he had to be a member of the Mataba, then it meant that Ali Kaba would not be there. And it was Ali Kaba there.
And Ali Kaba, that surname Kaba, who's he related to?
Well, I'm going to tell you what Ali told me. Ali Kaba told me that he had been a student, a Pan-African student activist at Froabe College in Sierra Leone. There were problems at Froabe. I think he got in trouble once or twice. Either got thrown out. And I want to be sure of this, because again, in Africa, when you say uncle, father, brother, you have to be very careful. But Tijani Kaba, former President Tijani Kaba, Ali told me, upon his retirement from the United Nations, where Tijani, I think, had risen to the rank of Under Secretary General, had retired, he sought to move Ali from Sierra Leone.
Who sought to move Ali?
I'm saying Tijani Kaba. Move Ali from Sierra Leone because of the problems he was experiencing, and a few other individuals from Froabe into Ghana and on to Libya, where this whole Pan-African thing was going on. And that's what I know about him, that Ali told me that Tijani is his uncle. Now, I could be asked about this, and I don't know whether it's an African uncle or a biological uncle, because in Africa, when we say uncle, it could mean an older man or whatever. But that's how he got there, and Tijani knew he was there. That's what Ali told me. I met him there, I met that group there.
Thank you.
Were in that
So,
first group.
you know why I'm playing this for you guys? Because probably this is the only alternative that you guys have to ever see any semblance of democracy again in Sierra Leone. Hey, what Ali Kaba did and went to the bush and fighting and this and that, poor people, innocent citizens lost their lives. But if you feel like you're being oppressed and suppressed, that is the only option that you have. Because again, the international community is not going to save you guys. They are not going to save you. It is a fact. They will not save you. And I'm going to play one more video of Charles Taylor talking about Ali Kaba. Because I want you guys to understand that these SLPP guys are the ones that brought the rebel war to Sierra Leone. And the fact that now the international community is going to be playing hypocritical games with us, and they say there's a line that they cannot cross because Sierra Leone is a sovereign state, I want you guys to know what is at stake.
Clear. I did not seek any assistance from Ali Kaba. I did not seek any assistance from Ali Kaba. Ali Kaba did not seek any assistance from me. I said Manny did not seek any assistance from me or Ali Kaba, and vice versa. We were not in a mataba to ask to assist each other in what they wanted to do. We were there to exchange Pan-African jargons and talk about it, but at no time did I promise Ali Kaba or he promised me. At no time did I request from Ali Kaba an assistance, or at no time did Ali Kaba ask of any or for any assistance from me. At no time. Because Ali Kaba's own revolution, as far as he had explained it to me, Ali Kaba, who, by the way, if it were possible, we'll still bring him to this court because I think he's available, he's just fighting.
Exactly.
Ali Kaba said to me, that within the armed forces of Sierra Leone and the police and the other security apparatus, he had all of the assistance that he needed, and that the men he was training in Libya would return directly to Sierra Leone, and that upon the return from inside Sierra Leone, they would launch the revolution. So there was no request or nothing from him to me or from me to him. It was not necessary. It did not happen. There were no promises and could have never been.
Every revolution has a reason. Are we going to justify the killing of Sierra Leoneans during the rebel war? But Ali Kaba started the rebel war because they felt like they were oppressed, because they knew that nobody was going to come and save them. And that's how they started the rebel war. And Fodi Sanko married, Julius Marabia's wife. Julius Marabia eventually brought Fodi Sanko out of the bush. They all, had the Lome peace agreement and all of that, and shared power with Tijan Kaba and all of that stuff. So again, very complicated, right? Julius Marabio's brother, Steve Bio, was buying uniforms and would supply the uniforms to the rebels and some of the uniforms to the military. It created a lot of confusion. Sierra Leoneans, you people pay attention. Sierra Leoneans, man, it's sad. Sierra Leoneans, because it's not all of us, but a lot of our people don't pay attention to history at all. We have no respect for history. That is why Africa is the way it is. And we're going to see Africa continue this way for as long as the same people are in power and we have the same citizens with the same mentality. Because it's a few of us that are speaking up about these things to educate and bring light to some of these situations. But every revolution has a meaning. And I'm telling you again, when you listen to the international partners, when you listen to the High Commissioner, and she's telling you that, you're on your own, basically that's what that means. Sierra Leone is a sovereign state, so you people, you're on your own, and that's what you need to understand about this. When she says you are on your own, that's what it means. You're simply on your own. And you guys have to understand these facts. She has made it very clear. The British High Commissioner has made it very clear. Listen to her again when she made it very clear on Lamrana's interview.
And how we work. So we will work with all different, obviously we have a kind of government to government relationship, but then we have a kind of wider interest in being able to understand and know about the dynamics of what's happening in the country. And so we'll talk to everybody. But there is a line where, Sierra Leone is a sovereign country. So we need to be careful and respect that. And
you're on your own. You're on your own. I mean, I don't think I can say any more. Sierra Leoneans, you're on your own. If Sabura Kamara wants to see his presidency, it is either he has to protest, bring the people out from across all the four corners of Sierra Leone, and everybody should be determined and ready and be prepared to know that it's their constitutional duty to defend their democracy. Otherwise, yes, I agree with you. There is no way we should move on to the 2028 or future elections in Sierra Leone until we fix what was wrong with June 24, 2023. And the only thing that's going to fix that, regrettably, the only thing we're going to fix that for Julius Marabio should be kicked out of power disgracefully and shamefully, and all of the people and we aid and abet in the destruction of this democracy should pay the price for their actions. Because again, going against the will of the people in a democracy is treasonous. In Section 5, subsection 2 of the 1991 Constitution, 2B, it makes it very clear. It says, through this Constitution, sovereignty belongs to the people. The government derives its legitimacy and its authority and its power from the people. You have to understand this. How do the people give governments legitimacy? How do the people give governments authority? How do the people give governments power? Through the vote, through the ballot box. So if the elections are negotiated, in the words of Alfred Peter Conte, and that's what it is, because they negotiated at June 24, 2023 elections, instead of the results reflecting the winner, then the government is illegitimate. And the government has no legitimacy, has no basis at all to represent the people, because the government does not have the will, the power, the authority, and the legitimacy from the people. This is simple. I'm giving you guys, this is a constitutional game. I'm giving you guys the facts. Just as in section 166, it's very clear there. B, it says the military has a responsibility to safeguard the achievements of the people. It is the same. So it is us as a sovereign nation, we the people and leaders, we get a responsibility as civilized human beings to preserve and protect our democracy. I don't care who's in power, APC, SLPP, whatever the case is. I'm just telling you guys the fact. We have a responsibility to safeguard our democracy. I'm doing my own part. You have these tribalists and bigots, these people that are not nationalistic or patriotic, who have their allegiance to their political parties and their tribes and the region, violating the Constitution, by the way. When you do that, you're violating the Constitution. And you are going against the Constitution. And it's a crime. This Constitution cannot be altered in any way, shape, or form. Section 108. It is in there. It's very, very clear. Anything you do that alters this Constitution, it's treasonous in itself. So all of you people that does not abide by Section 13B of the Constitution, which makes it very clear, it says every citizen shall cultivate a sense of nationalism and patriotism, so that your loyalty should lie to the state, not to your ethnicity, your sections, your regions. I'm paraphrasing now. Your political godfathers. Your loyalty should lie to the state. And if every Sierra Leonean imbibes that principle, we will not have a problem. If I was a president in Sierra Leone, and if I ever become a president in Sierra Leone, maybe Sierra Leone would see one of the freest elections in its lifetime. There will be zero tolerance for political violence. And when I say that, I mean that. Everybody's going to vote at their polling station, and their votes are going to be counted freely and fairly. Nobody's going to rig ballots or rig elections. Because if you do, I will be the first person to pass a law that says it's capital punishment, death by firing squad. Anybody caught in rigging elections. Because that is the fundamental of your country. It forms the fundamental foundation of your nation. If you are rigging elections, your country would never see prosperity, because these people are rogues. They're criminals and they're thieves. And they'll continue to be criminals, rogues, and thieves. And they would never get engaged in developmental strides. All they'll be thinking about is how to rig the next elections, how to steal money and put it in my pocket. Your politicians today, your members of parliament, with maybe few exceptions, all of these guys, all they're doing, womanizing. They have 4 or 5 girlfriends building houses for them. That is all they're doing. They have no intentions to fix that country, to save Sierra Leone from the rot that it is going through today. And Miss Josephine Goud has actually made it very clear that the international community has a line that they would not cross, because Sierra Leone is a sovereign state. Nobody's going to come and save you, Salon people. Nobody really can save you now. I'm going to leave it here, guys. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you all. Merry Christmas again. Bye-bye. Yeah. Hey, Salu Conte. Sierra Leoneans are not ready yet. Hardship has been legalized already. There is nothing to do again, Mr. Ibrahim. I feel your pain, Mr. Salu. I feel your pain. We really don't know. We really don't know if it is the military that is affecting us, because the people don't even know where they are heading to. And it's sad. Thank you again, my brother. Yeah. Sheku asked a question earlier. Wow, fighting for democracy. This is a past video. Already answered your question, Sheku. I see you say, okay, thanks. Because the video that I played of Julius Matabio was back in 2017, towards the elections in 2017. All right. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, everybody. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Again, memorize Section 13B of the Constitution. Every citizen shall cultivate a sense of nationalism and patriotism, so that your loyalty should lie to the state and not to your section, ethnic, regional, political godfathers, any other loyalties. Your loyalty should lie to the state. And today what we see is the level of tribalism, nepotism that has overtaken our country. People are worshiping their political parties, their godfathers, and that is why Sierra Leone will continue to be backward, and our people are going to continue to suffer senselessly and foolishly and stupidly just because of this level of hate that we have for ourselves, because we've put our tribes, our region, our sections, our political parties, our godfathers, our leaders over the interests of the national, of the country. Bye-bye.